Hi everyone. Sticks and stones may break your bones, but here's an ingenious way to fix you. Hi, I'm Simona Herbaj, and as you may guess, my PhD is about bone fractures and in particular bone regeneration. So just to give you a quick overview of what I'm going to talk about today, I'm going to first walk you through the problems connected with bone healing, the causes, the current approach, and finally my approach, which is to use gene therapy to help the natural healing process. So, as soon as we break a bone, we may notice a swelling at the fracture site that is due to an abnormal blood formation at the fracture site, also known as hematoma. What the hematoma does, it brings together all those little cells known as stem cells that are required for the healing process. Once those cells arrive to the fracture site, they start forming soft tissue that over time mineralizes, which means it becomes harder, until the fracture is finally healed. However, sometimes this process doesn't work, and when it doesn't work, it becomes what is known as non-union fractures, which means that the fracture lacks the ability to self-repair, and it accounts for about 5 to 10% of all fractures. What are the causes? Older age, low vitamin D, osteoporosis, smoking, and diabetes are some of the main causes that lead to non-union fractures. What they have in common? It's a poor bone quality. And as you may know, some of those causes, such as osteoporosis, older age, and diabetes, are steadily increasing over the years and will continue to increasing, becoming a burden to the patient quality of life and to the healthcare systems of the world. So what is currently done is to take a small bone graft from the top of the pelvis, which is the top of the hip bone, and to use that little bone graft to fill in the defects left from the non-union fractures. However, this approach has some important limitations, such as additional patient trauma, because it requires a second surgery and it's invasive. A limited amount of bone we can take off from. Death of tissue at our site means that if the patient has a very poor bone quality, that is going to be the case also for his hip bone, therefore the potential for a premature graft failure. So let's take a step back now and look at what an healthy stem cell usually does. It reduces the inflammation, it self-replicates, and it develops into different tissues. However, in the case of non-union fractures, this doesn't happen. So what's very ingenious is that we use gene therapy to bring those unhealthy stem cells back to their healthy stage by giving them some healthy DNA which encodes genes, such as genes for bone growth and genes for bone formation, so that the cell can go back to the healthy stage and develop into bone tissue. So what my PhD particularly focuses on is how to bring that DNA to the unhealthy cells. What I do is I take some ceramic nanoparticles, which are similar to the structure of bone, and I load them with DNA. And then I mix them up in a matrix. This matrix is liquid at room temperature, which means I can inject it in the fracture site. And then once it's in the body, it gels up, filling in the bone defect. Over time, this gel starts to break down, and it releases the nanoparticles. Those nanoparticles are very small, in the range of nanometers, which means can easily cross the cell membrane. And once they cross the cell membrane, they release the DNA, bringing those unhealthy cells back to the healthy stage. So the success of my approach to bring together engineering and biology would determine a strong decrease to the cost to the healthcare systems of the world by reducing the amount of people that need follow-up care and second treatments. It will improve the patient's quality of life, and it is a minimal invasive procedure that helps to mimic the natural healing process of bone, therefore giving a strong and natural healing process. Thank you for listening.